we have a couple of sources of, we've got some hip propaganda and maybe just some plain propaganda. Coming right up. Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And I think I'm slightly out of focus here, but I'll fix it. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And we're going to get started here really quickly. I'm going to get you guys in and out. I know it is Thursday. And yeah, I have just a little commentary before we get started. And I'll be right back. And I'll say hi to everybody in the chat, and then we'll get going. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and for coming back. And first, of course, I want to say hello to our friends in the chat. Survival is here. Hi, Survival. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And Anarchy Television, Listen Well, thank you. Gary Gage and Old School Wolf Media, thank you so much for coming in. So I also just want to thank you guys, those of you who were able to join me for what I was kind of doing something on location, if you will, for lack of a better word. And that's something that I may do on occasion, something, maybe call it beyond the stop, who knows. I will say this before I start anything else. It just, in this region, it does seem that people are more willing to have conversations, and it's not something, I think, they're more open about, where their convictions. And I don't know, it's not hard to tell, but yeah, so I've already had something that, something that I think could have turned into an interview. I ran into someone who actually does mortgages in this area, and he's talked about the stark contrast and, of course, in taxation. And it was involving someone out of the New York area, and sale of their property and the amount of taxation that they were subject to, after building all that equity. So that was an interesting conversation. But yeah, so we'll see what we can do on occasion, when I have time, or we'll see. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And it is Tyrant Spain TDOA. Thank you so much for coming in and supporting the channel. So I have just a couple lines. I am going to get you going on your Thursday. And once again, thank you guys so much again for tuning in to What Was a Test. So that was a test that I did earlier. So thank you so much for tuning in. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I just wanted to I was talking about a couple of things earlier today, and it was almost a rant, but I was just saying, like, these were things that I could not exactly confirm. Some of the topics I was mentioning earlier, and I was talking about, the race relations, and or dare I say, more or less the correlations between the amount of immigration or illegal immigration that is, that's actually popping up. And it's actually, they're starting to hear from people that are actually a part of that influx, and where they're showing up Not surprised by that, but yeah. So I kind of that's where I started out a little bit. You know, rumor has it, but maybe I'll have some confirmation on that. But I will say that I think that, and I've talked about this before with the whole term, the word black being an alias, which I think is now, to me, like many other things that have lost their meaning, or whatever, if they ever had a meaning, like it's pretty much been hijacked by this influx of, dare I say, illegals or immigrants, and basically using the plights of others to basically hijack the identities, or the identities, the alias others. I mean, a lot of people hang on to that term like it's an anchor, as if it's a parachute or a safety net, and it's really not. And they're going to find out, unfortunately, how, dare I say, uh, illegitimate I think the term is, just based on the amount of influx of immigrants that are showing up in these communities, whether they're from Europe or whether they're, no matter where they're from in the world, they are, you know, classifying themselves, or either being instructed to classify themselves as black. So, I guess maybe Biden was right. Nobody's black at the end of the day. If we, at this rate, it looks, what does that even mean? Because it's completely, it's completely, it's being, for the lack of a better word, it's being bastardized, or, uh, yeah, it's torn down. So what does it mean? So I think people better find another way to, another, another anchor, because that one's not going to work anymore. Pretty soon it's it's going to be more widely known. Um, and I think I was talking about the city of Baltimore, and I think Baltimore has a unique history of fraud, immigration fraud anyway. So I would imagine that many of these inner cities is where a lot of these people are going to end up. So I don't know. You'll see, what happens in your neck of the woods. So that was just, I was coming off of what I was talking about earlier this morning, my rant. But those are my uh, assertions and my perspectives there. So hope you guys are doing well out there. So I'm going to get you going with our first liner. So I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but I couldn't resist. Apparently, that network, MSNBC, apparently, there's a liberal, their anchor, or what do you call these people these days? They're public journalists. I don't know this guy's name, but it looks like he is using hip hop to describe. He's drawing parallels to the notorious Big, Biggie Smalls, if you guys remember that era of hip hop. But I just think this is really sad and really tiresome. So we'll just I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I'm going to share it with you. Who else would I be? Just a little light. Do I have a comment? I have one from Anarchy. Hi, Anarchy Television. Nice to see you. And Survival says, "Oh, they had Biggie." LOL. So I don't know. I don't know why they keep. To me, it's kind of low. We had the 5 videos, earlier in the spring on the hip hop public health out of New York. Now it's like, so beyond the grave, you're going to use. This guy is. I'm not saying he needs street creds to listen to hip hop, but I'm just saying, like, he's reaching right here. So of course you guys can comment on this, but I'm going to take you there. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and you are. Survival says, I saw it earlier. It seems like a weird stretch. Yeah, I think he's pretty much twisting himself into a pretzel. What would you say? I don't know. I'm going to share it with you guys for those of you that haven't seen it. So, don't sneeze. You might miss this one, but I'm really getting tired of it. And I'm going to say, I made this point the other day, and I hope I can make it clear again. This is another one of those instances in which hip hop is going to receive, it's going to be legitimized as something to major in because of liberals doing this kind of crap. I have nothing against people that, that attend Ivy League schools, but I just don't think that they have the fortitude to be doing, they're not, I just don't see them as men of strength or men in authority. I don't. And I certainly don't see them as artists. And I think this is out of their wheelhouse. So I'm going to take you there. And yeah, so enjoy this and don't blink too long. Hope to give you guys the full screen on this because I can't make this stuff up, nor do I have to.
COVID's dangerous. It's lethal. It's a bit like the beef Notorious B.I.G. used to rap about when he said, beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. Well, when COVID sees you, you can end up in ICU. Maybe not at the same rate as Biggie's beef, but that's the point about risk. You don't want to test these streets and risk ending up in the ICU.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did you guys get that? Let me just, Survival says it's so cringe. Yeah, I just say thank you, but no. leave that alone. And Risen Abilities here. How are you guys doing? It's nice to have you guys over here. This guy is an idiot. I don't know. I've seen high school kids do that better on like talent show day or whatever. It's why do they do these things? Old school media. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. I'm gonna play it one more time because I had to play it. I played it more than one time when I saw it originally because I'm just thinking, what are you talking about? Does he know what he's talking about? I bet he's never even been to any of those boroughs. Like not even, but I'm going to tell you, he's one of these people that I've seen people on YouTube get into the Biggie Smalls neighborhoods or into the boroughs in New York. But this guy would not be escorted into the borough. So he probably can never go there. Just if he's trying to earn some street creds, I'm just saying. All right. So one more time.
COVID's dangerous. It's lethal. It's a bit like the beef Notorious B.I.G. used to rap about when he said, beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. Well, when COVID sees you, you can end up in ICU. Maybe not at the same rate as Biggie's beef, but that's the point about risk. You don't want to test these streets and risk ending up in the ICU.
Okay. Is that killing you? But I would dare not try to even deconstruct what the hell he was saying because I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys should email MSNBC and see if he'll talk to you because that was way harsh. It's like I don't want to listen to these people anymore. But it seems like they use certain icons when it comes to the liberals do, because what do? They did the same thing for the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Same thing. Yeah. Same kind of a bit. No lyrics, but they gave her, she was, their notorious RBG. Okay. We'll keep going here. And it's Spirit of Liberty. How are you? And thank you so much for coming in. She says, have any of you heard about a hospital in Washington removing people from the organ donor recipient list for not taking the jab? No, I haven't. That's very interesting. I haven't. Well, you got somebody here that does, but that's what I'm talking about. So that's kind of the hip propaganda. But then I'm going to take you to another, dare I say, another modality. And I'm going to change it and switch it up here just a second. So now we're going to go to, I'm going to do this contrast here. I'm going to take you over to the to a commercial that looks like the papacy and worldwide. Yeah, so we're going to go there. We're going to go to an act of love that'll come out of the Pope's realm. So we're going to go there. Hope you guys are doing well out there. I really appreciate you for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And also for those of you who were able to come in for the on location test. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are well. All right, and I see if you guys think about hitting the like button, you can. If you don't, that's okay too, because I'm sure I am on their list. Probably not in the best way, but it's okay. All right, so we're gonna go over to their commercial, so you can hear it from the Pope and the papacy. I'm probably getting that wrong, but that's okay. All right. So I'm going to share this with you guys at full screen. So just let me know. Let me know what you get. If you don't get it, just hit the 2. I think you can do that. Okay. Just a slight delay here, but not to worry. We're getting there. Hi, Backyard Politics. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So, Pope's weighing in. All right. So, another campaign for you. All right. So we're going to zoom in. This one's a little bit of weight on it. So, hold your own. I'm going to share the full screen with you so you can feel worldly and embraced. So here we go.
Gracias a Dios y el trabajo de muchos, hoy tenemos vacunas para protegernos del COVID-19. Ellas traen esperanza para acabar la pandemia, pero solo si están disponibles para todos y si colaboramos unos con otros.
La terrible pandemia del coronavirus ha causado enfermedad, muerte y sufrimiento al mundo entero. Que Dios nos conceda la gracia de afrontarla con la fuerza de la fe, asegurando que las vacunas estén disponibles para todos, para que todos podamos vacunarnos.
A medida que preparamos un futuro mejor como comunidad global interconectada, queremos brindar esperanza a todos sin exclusión. Del norte al sur de América, apoyamos la vacunación para todos.
Aún tenemos mucho por aprender sobre este virus. Pero una cosa es segura, las vacunas autorizadas funcionan y están aquí para salvar vidas. Son clave para um caminho de sanação personal e universal.
Os esforços heróicos dos profissionais da saúde nos proporcionaram vacinas seguras e eficazes para proteger toda a família humana. Vacinar-se é uma opção de amor a todos, principalmente aos mais vulneráveis.
La vacunación nos ayuda a proteger a los más indefensos. Nuestra decisión de vacunarnos afecta a otros. Es una responsabilidad moral, un acto de amor para toda la comunidad.
Estamos unidos norte, centro y sur de América Latina y el Caribe para promover y apoyar la vacunación de todos y todas. Les animo a actuar responsablemente como miembros de la gran familia humana, procurando y protegiendo nuestra salud integral y la vacunación universal.
Vacunarse con vacunas autorizadas por las autoridades competentes es un acto de amor. Y ayudar a que la mayoría de la gente lo haga es un acto de amor. Amor a uno mismo, amor a los familiares y amigos, amor a todos los pueblos. El amor es también social y político. Hay amor social y amor político. Es universal. Siempre desbordante de pequeños gestos de caridad personal capaces de transformar y mejorar las sociedades. Vacunarse es un modo sencillo pero profundo de promover el bien común y de cuidarnos unos a otros, especialmente los más vulnerables. Le pido a Dios para que cada uno pueda aportar su pequeño grano de arena, su pequeño gesto de amor. Por más pequeño que sea, el amor siempre es grande. aportar esos pequeños gestos para un futuro mejor. Que Dios los bendiga y muchas gracias.
All right, guys. So there you have it. You have, there you go. You got some more. I mean, how much more do you need? So there you go. So you have that. And then I'm going to switch up just a little bit. And right now I'm going to take you to another story in which, New York just rolled out their mandates this week. And it looks like, the people are striking back, or the pendulum is swinging back. And to show you where it's coming from. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we have White Horse Theology. It's Killer Whale. Hi, Killer Whale. Thank you for the update on the name. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I'm going to take you there, and you can see that many people are pushing back in New York. So we'll see what happens with that. So we'll start with that. And just a quick reminder that you are joining us on our Hip Hop Thursday. All right. Thank you guys so much once again for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So I'm going to take you now to what's happening out of New York. So it looks like there's already a response from the restaurant owners. And it's specifically, I think, one of the ones that we covered a couple of nights ago. And so we'll see. It's coming out of the Gateway Pundit. I will give you the full screen here. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's nice to have you guys over. And I'll give you the full screen here. So, you guys, we had a chance to see something that wasn't so appealing. De Blasio mowing on his fries. And do you remember the whole Shake Shack owner coming out and saying, oh, when you get this, you're going to get these delicious fries, or you're going to get a burger, we're going to try to keep this fun and fresh. And after that came the key to the city. So here we go. We have this liner out of Gateway Pundit. This is the restaurants, gyms sue New York City Mayor de Blasio for the mocktail mandate. So this one is penned by Christina Layla. And here, according to this, the Independent Restaurant Association, along with several restaurants and gyms, are suing New York City and Mayor Bill de Blasio for the executive order mandating mocktails for indoor activities. Earlier this month, Bill de Blasio announced what is essentially a citywide mocktail passport. I think that was, maybe it was the former Excelsior pass, which I think it was a disaster. Not really, not that user-friendly at least, and not very efficient or accurate for that matter. However, New York City is mandating a proof of mocktail for people to enter certain indoor businesses. Bill de Blasio targeted restaurants, entertainment venues, and gyms. Okay, so here's another point. Here we're back to the point where I mentioned the whole, segregation and, can I use their word against them? Their racist tactics. With the stat here, only 28% of Black New Yorkers are fully mocktails. So this was Bill de Blasio's way of denying service to Blacks. It's kind of a nice touch. A coalition of restaurants and gyms filed a lawsuit in New York Supreme Court on Wednesday. And according to this, CNBC reported that Mayor Bill de Blasio and the city of New York are facing their first lawsuit from restaurants for executive order requiring proof of mocktail to dine indoors. The Independent Restaurant Owners Association Rescue, Max's Asca, the Lucas Italian Restaurant, and Pasticceria Rocco are seeking an injunction against de Blasio's executive order. 2 fitness venues of all 33 in Staten Island's Jiu-Jitsu were also listed as plaintiffs in the complaint. All the plaintiffs, excluding Pasticceria Rocco, are based on Staten Island. The lawsuit was filed Wednesday in the New York Supreme Court. Nick Bellucci, a press secretary for New York City's law department, said the city is reviewing the complaint. The new policy, which began Tuesday, requires customers to show proof of at least one mocktail dose to engage in a number of indoor activities like dining, exercising, attending performances. Employees of those venues are also required to be mocktailed. Following a few weeks to transition, enforcement is slated to start September 13th. So that's your papers, please kind of a date. So I don't know. I guess they better start doing something, or embrace themselves or start kicking back or something, because September 13th is not that far away. Okay, had to reset there. Yeah, so there you go. So there we had, a restaurant the other night that was basically, she was posting a huge sign saying that they did not discriminate on the basis of, the race, religion, creed, orientation, and your mocktail status. So I guess this may have done her one better, because she didn't get the solidarity that she needed from some of the other restaurants. So I guess maybe this will help out a lot, if her position is the same or if it's changed. All right. So thank you guys so much again for tuning into this Black Spring with Autumn. And so we have John H. Roberts that joined us. And Survival says, I hope the gyms and restaurants win their lawsuit. And let's see, do I have a comment? All right, Tyrant Spain TDOA. I'm not sure you're speaking Spanish right now, and that's not my that's not one of my languages. But thank you. You picked it up. You picked that up. Thank you so much. And Jermaine G's here. How are you doing? Thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And so I just have one more thing, and I don't want you to burn too much of your Thursday. But I haven't visited our friends over at the We Forum in a while, but we're going to visit them. And it looks like they're kind of, in that particular clip, they are giving you another, that's Schwab's domain. And they're giving you an outlook on, I think, wanting to know what you would like to see going forward under this, I call it this abnormal, because it's certainly not a new normal. So I'll play the graphic on that. But you guys couldn't have missed this one this week. So, just, hi, AZ Infidel. Look who's here. It's Marcy T. How are you? Marcy T says, I just got a new phone. I'm hooking up. Good to see. Nice. There you go. AZ, no worries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to this one. Now, this has to be, we're coming to the end of the week, so this has to be one of the worst clips of the week. And I'll tell you what I'm thinking it's equivalent to. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you, and it's going to be a short clip. And I will tell you that Twitter is its own little ecosystem. It's kind of crazy over there, but they certainly get things out. certainly get things out. So this clip is very short too. So just brace yourself. If you haven't seen it, you're going to get it here first. So it's a whole 11 seconds. Unless they have pulled that. That's interesting. Okay, hang on just a second. So that's not what I had in mind there. Okay. So just never mind that little propaganda there. Not sure if it shared the right thing there. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Marcy T. Okay, I'm a little bit delayed here. A little bit of a delay there. So just hang on 1 second. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys are doing well. And thank you guys so much for coming in for for the test this morning. And it was kind of an on-location test. And maybe at some point I'll get to, I don't know, maybe we'll get to do an interview someplace. We'll see what happens there. As I said earlier today, like it's hard to get into, the climate of things is like, it's very unique. It's like unlike any other time. So, I have to proceed with caution and that kind of a bit. I think, I'm going to be honest, I think Twitter has a new policy and we'll see what that's about. But I'm not really heavy on the Twitters. So not to worry. But I am going to share this clip with you because this has got to be the worst clip of the week. If you're counting, who's counting, right? Worst clip of the week. So I'll share it with you right now. And it's going to come from your regime commander, Biden, is what we're going to do that one on. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for your patience. All right, here we go. All right, I think they're being a little bit crafty here with me. As soon as I try to zoom in, something else happens. Something bizarre happens. So maybe I won't zoom in again. Thank you guys for your patience here. Maybe I'll come back to this. So, but it was the clip that he had done earlier this week. So, you know, I'm paraphrasing. That was 4 to 5 days ago, and with his response to, you know, yeah. So I'll get back to that. But I think that they've changed their policies on Twitter. So I think things will get a little bit less. It might get a little bit less active over there because of that. So let's see. Maybe I have it right here.
But we've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
What did you think when you first saw those pictures? But we've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
What did you think when you first?
Okay, so that's the worst clip of the week. I don't know what you guys think. Maybe not. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. And so to round out your Thursday, we're going to go over to the We Forum. Okay. Really appreciate it. And before I do that, let me respond to a couple of things that I'm seeing in the chat right now. Jermaine G, thank you very much. I've got mail. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Marcy T says, look, my creep de Blasio. Oh, wow. Thank you, Marcy T. I really appreciate that. And Survival says, quote, 4 to 5 days ago, end quote. When he said that, it had been 2 days. Yeah, that's kind of, I'm out of words really on that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick little break, and then I'll give you our last installment on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And from there, you'll be getting, something from the We Forum, and and you're abnormal going forward. All right, guys, I will be right back right after this. Guys, we're back, and once again I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So and then here's just another FYI. I'm in a very temporary, this is a temporary setup right now, and which the lighting is not the best, but it will get restored in the weeks to come. But so I tried to get a little bit more light going here today. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's see, do I have any more comments before I go into this last one? So Marcy T says, dang it, let's talk all night. Marcy T, you sound like you sound like you want a glass of wine to go with that. just kidding there. So I don't know, I may open this up just for a little bit after we're after we finish this one. So here again, I've talked about, Herr Schwab and the Fourth Industrial Revolution and his book that's entitled just that. So I'm going to share with you just right now what's going on with it. So share with where we are right now and what they're saying. They're even asking, hypotheticals. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we're going to go there right now. And I'll be sure to give you the full screen on this. Okay, so just for kicks here, I don't want to let this fly by here because there's lots of things here. Are you seeing here the rise of cloud markets? I mean, they're projecting a lot of, of what they want to see, going forward in your new normal. So, this is, to me, the blueprint. I might bump us back one more. So you guys, if I open this up a bit, you can comment on anything that we've talked about, or if it's not, just let us know what it is, something that's slightly irrespective to what we've talked about so far. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So let's kick back just a little bit. So this one, the screen before that says, and let's see, they talked about the job market. Here, let's just scoot back here just a bit because they go through quite a bit of things. This is courtesy of the We Economic Forum. All right, so this is 5 ways the pandemic could reshape our lives in the long term. Okay, so I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to take you slow motion here, slow-mo, rather than just going boom, boom, boom. 1, offices will be reimagined. Get that, reimagined. Okay, and the shift to home working will mean offices can serve different functions. Did you see the plexiglass there? All right. And keep going here. I just didn't want to rip through them that quickly. Okay, so they could be used as client showroom. In this one, you still got your mask here. And could be used, well, sorry about that. Could be used as a client showroom, a research lab, or somewhere to meet and reconnect with colleagues. So I'm going through these here. If you're just joining us, that number 2, the advent of 15-minute spaces. Neighborhood hubs could replace some of the perks we miss by not commuting to an office. You guys miss commuting to an office? I mean, I don't know what you guys what you do out here, but I'm just going to keep going here. So I may play the rest of it, but I just wanted you to see that it's not, I don't want this to just kind of visually go by, without you seeing that this is what they're thinking out loud. They know what's best for us, and they're going to prove to you that you as the consumer are benefiting from, their divine, plan for humanity. All right. They might contain gyms, bars, or art galleries. So I'm going to just play the rest. I'll put the link out there for you if you want. But of course, WeForum is not an underground. It's not some underground site or some covert, site. It is public. And maybe you'll go to Davos or, next time. I don't know. Maybe you'll get invited. But I'll keep going here. You've only got, you're less than 1 minute under here. Okay, all right, guys. I had to slow this one down. This is the one where they talk about recognizing people by their heartbeat. So that's number 4. So hang on just a second. Okay. And you saw something about ghost kitchens. You see, they got this whole thing mapped out. It's just, I mean, who would have thought? You know, you would think this was a plan, right? All right, I'm just going to keep going here. I will keep going here. All right. So here, you could be identified by your heartbeats. I'm not sure what kind of biometric system, you know, what is that going to entail? I don't know, but, you know, tech for sure. Facial recognition, we've all heard of that. Facial recognition systems are often stumped by face mask. Oh yeah, how do you get rid of, what's the answer, the resolution to get rid of the face mask? Stumped. Okay, stumped. But your heartbeat is just, okay, I think they're giving you some commentary here on the heart. Talk about your heartbeat is just as unique as your face. You guys have an iWatch? Or is that what they call it? Okay, so NASA has invented a system that can ID you from your heartbeat using a laser. Are you guys impressed with this right now? It's pretty invasive, right? It's kind of invasive. All right, number 5, the digital technology. This is the final one. The digital technology will change the way children learn. So are you seeing this, you know, this digital learning situation right here, the setup? Okay, while homeschooling was challenging for many families, it also had benefits. Okay, and children could learn at their own pace while improving their digital skills. Education in the future could be a hybrid of school and home-based learning. Is that happening already? What are they talking about? Is that really cutting edge right now? Combine the best of both worlds. And it says, what pandemic era changes would you like to become permanent? I mean, are you guys, did you guys sign up for this? Oh my gosh. And hello, it's Derek C. Williams. Hi, Derek C. Williams. Yes. Thank you very much for tuning in. But did you see that? It's almost like, you're their customer. We are their customers, but they're using our lives to create the product, right? Am I way off on that? So we'll round that one off with the full play there. And then we'll take a few comments and then we'll get out of here. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate it. And I do have Derek C. Williams here. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to read some comments here. So Backyard Politics, he says, I commute 3 times a week now. I like getting out of the house. Marcy says, no. And Derek C. Williams comes in with Klaus Schwab, a maniac with delusions of godhood. Quote, you will own nothing and you will be happy, end quote. In listen mode, late to the party, but greetings. Thank you so much, Derek C. Williams. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all you do, all you've done to support the channel. I really appreciate it. And Gary Gage is here. Says that is interesting. I haven't heard of the heartbeat thing. All right, Jermaine G says all this taking place will make people who are mocktail to force us and call the authority on us, who are, well, we'll see how that works out. We'll see. I have some my own interpretation of what I think. You know, it's probably going to be along lines of conspiracy, but you know, I won't go into it on this stream. I really appreciate everything. All right, guys. So I'm just gonna open this up just for a few minutes. So you know, three to four, and then you know anything that we talked about. We did get into quite a few things. For example, we got into We talked about the Notorious B.I.G.'s beef and ICU parallel references being dissected by a white liberal on MSNBC, which was pretty painful. Okay. That just destroyed me. Okay. I can't take it anymore. The legitimacy that what they do. You know, they just hijack, they just grab, you go in here like eminent domain and just grab somebody's art or somebody's, you know, lyrics and just, you know, just start propagandizing. And then we showed the papacy around the world and their message that the mocktail is an act of love. It's what you should be showing love like that. What do we also had the worst clip of the week that came from the administration, and paraphrase, that was 4 days or 5 days ago, however it came out. It's like, how dare you talk about that? And also we had the We Forum with some talking points, or, you know, a blueprint of the future. And we had a strike back from New York Restaurants Association on the mocktail mandates and the enforcement that's going to be happening on, I think it's the 13th of the month. So I really appreciate it. So is anybody out there from New York? I hope you guys are doing well. And yeah, so I guess it'll be a matter of papers, please, I guess around September 13th. So I'm just put the link out here just for a little bit, guys. And as we'll have to have a much bigger, we'll have to set something up. We'll have to set something up, or send me an email. And Latin Patriot, if you are out there, please send me another email. I'm still looking for that email. I've gone through everything, but I'm still looking for it. Okay. So I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to take a couple of breaks and we'll get you guys out of here. And do I have a question? It says, what's my thought on the rap charges on Polite? You know, I haven't looked at that story. I'm not really familiar with his, you know, the little I know on hip hop is, you know, I'm kind of a one artist hip hop, like not from like Sugar Hill Gang or something like that. Like I'm one up from Sugar Hill Gang. So yeah, I'm not really familiar with that. And I'll have to look into it for sure. Okay, looks like we have a caller, ladies and gentlemen. It's Derek C. Williams. Hi, Derek C. Williams. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. Shout out and respect due to Black Spring with Autumn. Intelligence done right. Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah, I was going to make a quick comment, less than 3-4 minutes of your time. I'm doing it in rapid fire succession.
I say that because I get carried away and you know, sometimes, you know, we all just, I think you know what I'm putting down.
Well, respect due to my debate teacher and English teacher, Mrs. Farmer from 12th grade. She said you wanted to be brief and concise, have your points together so you just can shoot them out. And that way you're not hogging anything, but what you say, you make sure it's effective. So that's how I try to talk. Okay. First, so I go in reverse order. Brother Polite's, he's from New York. He's a Brooklyn, in the conscious community. He's originally from Brooklyn, New York. He's in the conscious community. Well, he was brought up on charges today. I think he turned himself in. Apparently, a la Charlemagne the God, he got a 14-year-old girl drunk, and apparently he tried to have intercourse if he did not. And so he's an intelligent dude, ain't no doubt about it, but he's also been known to scam people. I think a few years ago, he got a young guy for $70,000, right, for an investment proposition that went awry, and the young man is still trying to get his monies back to this day. Again, very intelligent dude, ain't no doubt about it, but he uses that intelligence for, in my opinion, nefarious purposes. I just don't like him, don't respect him, because all those conscious community dudes, they basically it's just like battle rap, but from an intellectual standpoint, but nothing being built. You said something about Joe Biden making that phrase about 4 or 5 days. Well, he's right, because if you think about it, I'm not being sarcastic, I'm being real. most people's attention spans aren't that long. So 4 or 5 days, like, so what you're saying, one of those type things. Right. And so that's, you know, I just want to call in just for those 2 points right there, because I'm doing my domestic thing and exercising at the same time. I just realized you was going live. And so I'm here to support you as much as I can. You know, I told you the situation as to why I don't make videos and stuff like that, but I see what's going on in the world and things like that. And I sent you that thing about what's going on in Australia. Luckily for us, we have about 200 or something million guns here. So it's going to be good luck in trying to pull that off. I believe they still going to try to execute, but good luck with that. And, you know, it would be wise for those who are listening to you now to get storable food, ammunition, and things like that. You know, preppers don't look too crazy today. They look like they were prophets now. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. And thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you so much, Derek C. Williams. And you grabbed a lot of material there. Certainly. Yeah, I think it's I think that 4 to 5 day kind of comment from Biden was like equivalent to, you know, HRC saying, what difference does it make, you know, on the Benghazi situation. So it's just, you know, they know these news cycles are short. So they kind of, you know, they know they moved everybody right on, and it kind of desensitizes people.
Well, I'm ex-military, and I can tell you from what I've seen, the military has an instant hatred for Joe Biden based off what he didn't do. And it's my understanding now that him and Harris are infighting, which is good. I love to see that.
Yeah, well, I have a theory about, unfortunately, you know, the scene in which, you know, it's probably I'll go into that some other time, but the scene in which the people were falling from the sky, and, you know, I appreciate you so much for coming on, and it's nice to have your perspective, and stay strong out there, and please keep coming around. Don't be a stranger around here.
Without question. Like I said, if I run with you until I'm shown different, if I support you, that's what it is. And one other point too, then I get off. Another reason why I didn't even start a third channel is because when I lost my first channel and started the second one, the very people, many of them that I had supported, I was going hard for everybody. Nobody that's on YouTube can dispute I was sharing them out, making support videos. I didn't get that same support on the second channel. I said, well, if that's how it is, I got you. And it just really let me get to see people. But then again, I always say that you've always heard me say the human condition. So I'm not shocked at it at all that I did not get the second go round. So, you know, that's the reason why I didn't make a third channel, because a lot of people that I supported, I didn't get that back. Because out of 3,000 subscribers, you would think I would have got 1,000 back really quickly. And it wasn't really so much me getting the 1,000 subscribers so I can go back live again. It's just the principle of the matter. You know, I was running with you.
I can see that. I can see that, Derek C. Williams. And, you know, around here, you know, you're on the channel. You're on the channel as a, you know, I have sponsors that are, you know, that will be, you know, honorary sponsors and beyond, you know, because that's just to me.
If I'm with you until I'm proven wrong. I've always been like that. So, you know, but I notice everybody does not live by that credo, and that's fine. But I just say, well, you know, I just walk off. So, but like I said, I'm with you. So, like I said, thank you for having me on. And again, intelligence done right, Black Spring will order. Period. End of story.
Well, I appreciate you, and thanks so much. You've been around for some time, and you know, and if you decide to come back, you know, things will be, you know, consistent around here unless they pull the plug, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I throw a little bit more caution to the wind, I think, every time, because that's just where it is. You know, I think we're running out of the peaceful. We're running out of the self-censorship. Yeah, things are going to have to be said. They just have to be said. It just has to be done, and that's
yes,
it.
ma'am. And I think you're gonna see more of that in the coming. I say probably if I was a betting man, and then I step off. If I was a betting man, I think you're gonna really start seeing people across this country hopping mad before Thanksgiving. If I was a betting man. So again, just thank you for having me on, and you take care of yourself. All right.
I will do my best. Thank you so much, Derek C. Williams, and thank you for coming on.
Yes, ma'am. All right, y'all take care. Salute.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Derek C. Williams. Derek was to me a prolific content creator, and he shared a bit of his story there. I really appreciate it, and I think you guys know the drill around here. I think we've all gotten suffered the tyranny on some level, and some of us have we're kind of weighing it out, and you're getting in the trenches when we're not on here. We have to make things prepare otherwise. And so I appreciate you so much, Derek C. Williams, for all that you do, and hang in there, keep going. And let me read a couple of comments here. Marcy T said, Derek, you popped off lots. I said, old folks, and you deserve more support. Yes, absolutely. I will say this, and to me, that's why I'm going to say this, and I might be wrong on this, and I'm not saying I'm quoting any specific statistics on this, but what I'm saying is I think even with the amount of subscribers that I have, I would imagine that if I were to break those down, I would say less than, maybe 20%, what I consider real supporters. It's, to me, it's just like it's fluff. Like you kind of pad there's padded subscription there. And so just to me, just pad and fluff, pad and fluff, or, but, I know you worked hard for your subscribers, and, and you don't want to, but you would like to see reciprocation. I know, I know, and you should get it, back. But, I think you're right when you talked about Derek C. Williams, and you talked about people's attention span. And I think the loyalty and that kind of a bit is about the same. Dare I say, it's just rare. It's really rare. But I think people are going to wish that they had better networks here. So I think we're going to go, as they say, I heard somebody say the other day, we're going to go back to real life here in a few minutes. And there, I think people are going to find they're going to need people in that. So Gary Gage, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Derek C. Williams. And let me see, I missed a couple of comments. AZ Infidel says, exactly, Derek, let enemy destroy each other. And Jermaine G, he said, oh yeah, what is Black culture? That is a wide, that's a wide road. But I just think that because they've taken over so many things, and the powers that be, I think the elite, because they had the money to fund, they've had the money to fund talent or entertainment, or, people that, that were intellects, and they were the ones to back it. I think they set the standards for so much of that, content, or of what you can, it's like they were, can I say it's elite sponsored, or they're not quite almost state sponsored backing. So I don't subscribe to that, because I don't think if you're not playing by your own rules, if you're not making your own rules, and you're not doing things on your own terms, then it's not yours. And yeah, if your lender tells you, if you're going on, if you have to do everything by his rules, then I really don't think it's that authentic. So I struggle with, with that term, and with the term of culture, especially when that word's on the front of it, because I do think that the word Black it's a government alias. It's a control mechanism. And I'm telling you that they have devalued, they have bastardized that word. And you're going to see so many people come in here. I think they're going to come in here under the guise of that word. So it makes you even less legitimate, right? If anybody can come in here, if anybody can identify as Black from all over the world, and not based on, and it's not really based on anything real or anything authentic or de facto that's established, then what is it? What is it? it's not a real status then, right? It's just, it becomes like a Trojan horse. You know, you can come in and get whatever you want. It's like hijack. It's like stolen identity. But was it ever your identity to begin with is what I question. And I reject that. Like I said, I don't know, you know, people have to figure it out. You know, they have to figure out their own perseverance, and they have to figure out their own preservation, because this stuff is going down. Okay. And that's my assertion. And that's my opinion. And Derek C. Williams says Black culture is dysfunction these days. And Jermaine G says, I feel the same way. Well, that's what I mean. It's just being torn down. Like nothing means, you know, nothing. Like, you know, if you can identify it as whatever you want, then what does any of it mean? What's identity? You know, what is it? You know? So it's just, everybody's having a crisis, right? So how do you set the standard? What's the standard for any of this stuff? It's a breakdown. It's a decline. It's more division. All right. So Marcy T says, we are all brother and sisters. We all came from Adam and Eve. Okay. And Anarchy Television says, if the definition of words can be interpreted and no matter of fact, words have no meaning. Thank you, Anarchy Television. Because if you guys notice that, even with this administration, did you guys hear that language where they said that when they were asking, I remember seeing an interview where Psaki was being asked how many Americans were in the area, or you know, maybe the region outside of maybe what their original areas that they were looking in. And she said some of them have self-identified. What does self-identifying as an American mean? If you have an answer for that, I mean, I can be reproved on here. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Self-identify. So it's almost like, to me, it's like they're setting it up to say, hey, you know, they live here and they serve, but does that make them? It's almost they're casting, you know, doubt on what that even means, what it even means to be an American. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, they're delegitimizing anything, you know, even through service. You can be delegitimized. Wow. Okay. Marcy T says that they separated us, the rich snakes. And all right, guys. So I really appreciate you guys so much for coming on. I'm going to take one quick break, I'll come out and say salute to everyone. And I'll say, AZ Infidel says semantics. Thank you for that, AZ Infidel. So I'm going to run out, quick break, and I'll be right back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. It's been an interesting day. Marcy T says that words, they change, then oh so slightly to hate. Yes, it's but you know, to me, with all the division, you know, I think critical thinking is out the window. You know, not even introspect, you know, seems to come into play anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and say salute to everyone. And thank you guys so much for tuning into my test. And so I'll do that on occasion. So You might see me outside. And thank you so much, Survival. Have a great evening. Thank you for coming in. And Anarchy Television, I really appreciate it. Listen Well, thank you for coming in. Gary Gage from Oklahoma. How did I miss that? And Old School Wolf Media, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And Tyrant Spain TDOA, I thank you guys so much for tuning in. And thank you, Tyrant Spain, for supporting the channel. You've been around for a long time, so you've seen the you've seen the highs and the lows, dare I say. And we also have Risen Ability. Thank you so much for tuning in. Spirit of Liberty, thank you for coming in. And Backyard Politics, I really appreciate it. John H. Roberts, the double heart there, and Jermaine G. Marcy T, of course. I really appreciate it. Marcy T, it's nice to see you. And yeah, but what, just FYI, I mentioned earlier today that I don't do a whole lot on like race relations, because I think there's plenty of people out there to cover that or to talk about it. To talk about it. And so I don't really do a whole lot, but then every now and then when I see some of this stuff is just, it's beyond, to me, I think some people are the real conspiracy theorists have come out. They've actually come out now. That's where a lot of, I think, this propaganda and the rhetoric is coming from. Talking points have been developed by the real conspiracy theorist. So Backyard Politics, thank you so much for coming in again. Derek C. Williams, thank you for coming on and joining us on the screen. I appreciate it. And then I missed Killer Whale Channels. You have an entire, the White Horse Theology. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And I need to update commercials or whatnot. I'm working on that right now. I need to do something else with those. All right. I really appreciate it. I make sure I didn't miss anybody else. AZ Infidel, thank you so much for tuning in and appreciating us. And supporting us. I'm getting ahead of myself. And Jermaine G says the world has gone mad. And AZ Infidel says Autumn in the Wild. Well, what I'll do is I'm thinking I'm going to do occasionally. I might do something. Maybe I'll grab an interview or something. I don't know. We'll see, because I'm in a different region of the country, and I'm very happy about that. So I know earlier today I was saying, it's hard to get back into. I tell you, to me, I find the main people that are screaming about racism are the racist. They scream nonstop. That's the first thing that comes out of their mouth. First thing. That's the part that I avoid. But when it comes to me, of course, I'll deal with it head on. But I don't see that coming from the people that they are, because to me that's a diversion. You're like, well, look at them, but it's actually them that you need to be looking at. And it's like, okay, what is your point? Get it together. This is pathetic. You have no peace, is what you don't. You don't have any peace. I'm sorry, and I don't want to be around you. And I really appreciate you guys for coming in and for joining me earlier. So we'll see. Maybe we'll have some more Beyond the Stops. Who knows? Maybe even tomorrow. We'll see. If I can get outside, whatever, whenever available. All right, guys. I appreciate you for joining me on this what I call the hip propaganda, because we had the papacy, the propaganda, and then we had the hip propaganda. So we have the hip hop perspective. That was my logic there. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And let's see, it looks like something bizarre is happening there. But I really appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. And we have one more comment. Yeah, well, every now and then you'll get, the Pope comes out and and he projects. So it's like, to me, science is the new religion these days. And if you don't believe in those three items, the social distancing, the face flags and the mocktails and your, you know how that goes. All right, guys. So have a great rest of your Thursday. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next live stream in the comment section on a video, a Moonlight stream. We'll under a Beyond the Stop, a test, and wish you guys a great Thursday night.